So today's problem is GCD array. So we are given an array of length n and an integer k. Our task is to divide this array into k subarrays such that if we take sum of all the elements of each subarray and take a GCD of all the elements, the GCD should be maximum. So for example, let us say the n is 5, so there are 5 elements and the k is 4. So I need to divide this array into 4 subarrays such that if I take sum of all the subarrays and GCD of all the sums, then that GCD should be maximum. So how we can do this? Suppose if I divide this array in like this, and if I assume G as my answer, then G is dividing 6. Similarly, G should be dividing the sum of 5 and 7, that would be 12. And since 6 is already dividing, so if I take 18 also, then it would be same. Similarly, it should be dividing 45 and 48. So how I can guess what would be my possible answer is the factors of all the 48 would be my possible elements. So I'll calculate the factors of 48, which is sum of all these elements. So factors of 48 are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 12, 24, 48. For each factor, I will check if how many ways I can divide the array in subarrays. So for example, if I take 1, 1 is dividing 6, 1 is dividing 7, 1 is dividing 5 and so on. So I can divide this array into 5 subarrays such that their GCD is 1. Similarly, if I take 2, then 2 is dividing 6, 2 is dividing 18, but 2 is not dividing 45, but it is dividing 48. So there are 3 ways to divide this array. Similarly, I'll take for 3, 3 is dividing 6, 3 is dividing 18, 45 and 48. So there are 4 ways basically I can divide the array into 4 subarrays such that its GCD is 3. So what I will do is for all the factors, basically I'll calculate how many ways I can divide this, and if the number of ways is greater than k or equal to k, then that would be my answer. So if k would be 3 in this case, then my answer would be maximum of GCD, and maximum of that would be 6. But since the k is 4 in this case, the answer would be 3. And here also you can see the answer is 3. So let us take one more example. In this case, the array is 1, 4, 5 and I need to divide this in 2 subarrays. Okay, so I'll take the sum of all the elements, that would be 10, and the factor of 10 would be 1, 2 and 5. So I can divide this array into 2 subarrays such that first subarray is this and second subarray is this. So how to implement this? So first I'll make a presum array of size n. Now I'll calculate the presum. So now the last element of this array would contain the sum of all the elements. So I'll put it as sum. So now I will store the factors of this element. So I'll make a vector. So now my answer would be one of the element of this array. Now I will iterate over it. And if I use this number as my GCD, ways will store how many ways I can divide this array. So I'll iterate over the array. If is dividing then I'll increment ways. And here you can see that I have used pre-sum array to check if it is dividing, not the actual. If 18 is divisible by the array, then 12 would be also divisible by the array because 6 is divisible. And if the ways are greater than or equal to k, then it can be one of my answers. So I'll make a answer variable, and since I need my answer as maximum as possible, and now I'll return. Yeah, it is running.